Welcome back, everybody, to the Baltimore Orioles franchise here on MLB The Show 21. Today, we have made it to the World Series here in season number 6 as we prepare for a rematch against the Atlanta Braves. We played against the Braves in the World Series a season ago, defeating them in 6 games, and we are looking to make it 2 in a row here in this episode. We are coming off a big ALCS victory over the Houston Astros in which we won in 5 games. And now we have made it to the Fall Classic for a second year in a row, looking for ring number 2. I think the team right now is in a good spot. We've only lost 2 playoff games the entire year so far, although the same can be said for the Atlanta Braves. They have also only lost 2 postseason games thus far. This is not like last year where the ALDS and ALCS came down to the wire for us. Rather, we are blowing by our opponents and have pretty much cakewalked into the World Series, and I think the same can be said here about the Atlanta Braves. I think these are the 2 best teams in baseball. They've been the 2 best teams in baseball for a couple of years, so it's fitting that we get to play against them again. This Braves team is obviously really, really good, led by the National League MVP, Ronald Acuna Jr., who played very well against us in the World Series last year, although it was not enough, as they obviously lost in 6 games. It's a pretty similar roster. They have made some upgrades. Instead of Ozzie Albies at second, they now have Nick Solak, and they also have 4 catchers who are at least 85 overall, with the notable one being Will Smith. They have a great rotation as well, featuring Mike Soroka at the top, and a lot of depth with Max Fried, Ian Anderson, Bryce Wilson, and Touki Toussaint. Not to mention, they have a pretty good bullpen as well, so we know we have our hands full here, but we beat these guys last year in the World Series, so there's no reason why we can't do it again. As we've been doing throughout the playoffs so far, we are going to simcast the early games and play the later ones. So Game 1 starts off pretty interestingly. Franmil Reyes hits a 3-run homer. Freddie Freeman answers with a 3-run homer of his own, so it's already 6-0. Chris Bubich does not even make it out of the first inning. Not really an ideal start. The Braves went through the entire lineup. However, we start off pretty well. Elliot Ramos hits a solo home run, so it's 6-1 through 1. And we need Tristan McKenzie to do mop-up duty here after a disaster of a start for Chris Bubich, who's been so good for us all year. I don't know what happened today. The defense has been shaky already with 2 early errors, and other than the home run by Elliot Ramos, we have not gotten anything going at the plate, including a double play there to finish off the 4th. Tristan McKenzie, though, has pitched fantastically. That'll be 5 2/3 scoreless for McKenzie. Maybe we should have just started him all along. In the 7th, Will Brooks enters the game. He gets through it pretty easily. Mike Soroka still in as we go to the 8th. Franmil Reyes hits his 2nd home run of the game. Still 7-1 here in the bottom of the 8th. We do get a home run from Keston Hiura, which will make things a little bit closer. So now it's 7-2, 2-1, 2 outs here. I decided to hop in. Louis St. John is up to bat. He draws a walk on the outside sinker. So the bases are now loaded. A major opportunity for Lenny Lane to try to put the Orioles back in the game. And from there, Atlanta makes a pitching change. No more Mike Soroka. In comes A.J. Minter. This is a pretty smart substitution because Lenny Lane is a lefty, so now they have a lefty on the mound. Count is 1-2. 2 away, bases juiced. The pitch for Lane. Swinging to this. He goes down on the outside cutter. Good pitch there by Minter. And with that out, it feels like the Braves are definitely in a good position here going into the 9th inning where they will look to hold on for the victory. Julian Starnes is in for Baltimore. 2 away. He faces off against Solak, who grounds it to short, fielded cleanly by Marco Luciano for the 3rd and final out of the inning. So a quick 1-2-3 inning there for Starnes. We move to the bottom half of the 9th inning where the Orioles are going to need a 5-run inning in order to come back. I'll start with Heston Kjerstad, who has picked up his strong postseason into the World Series with 2 hits today. Going to try to add a 3rd. And that he does as it beats the shift perfectly into left field for a double. Although Kjerstad's hit the ball well, it's a shame that, well, nobody else on the team really has at all. But nonetheless, the Orioles now have themselves a runner in scoring position to start the inning off here. Bradley Rutschman, who goes down looking on the high and inside fastball. That did not look like a strike, but the umpire behind the dish says otherwise. That'll now bring up Nick Castellanos up to the plate. 2-1 pitch. This one is rocketed in the left field. It looks like it will drop for a hit. Kjerstad slow to third, but he is safe. So now the Orioles have, again, 2 runners on here. And the Braves will make another pitching change as it's John Gant into the game here for Atlanta. He faces off against Xavier Edwards of 2 away. Runners on the corners. Edwards hits this one high and pretty deep into center field. Acuna tracks it down at the wall, and it is caught. The Atlanta Braves have won Game 1 of the World Series in pretty convincing fashion. 7-2, your final. Most of the damage done in the first inning as the Braves scored 6 in the opening frame. A pair of 3-run homers by Franmil Reyes and Freddie Freeman. And from there, Chris Bubic was immediately taken out of the game. And although the Orioles bullpen did fantastic, their offense was never really in the game, despite an early home run by Elliot Ramos and a later homer by Heston Kjerstad. So a tough Game 1 loss there. It feels like, had it not been for that fluke first inning, we certainly could have won, but inning number 1 really killed us. So now we go into Game 2, and this is a very important game here for our Orioles. We know we have to perform well today. Max Meyer on the mound against Max Fried. That was the pitching matchup in Game 6 of a World Series last year, which was the clincher for us. Franmil Reyes opens with a 2-run homer, so Reyes already has 3 home runs here in the World Series. He has been balling out so far for Atlanta. Other than that, not a whole lot going early. Our offense has been struggling up to this point. The Braves have not done a whole lot since the Franmil Reyes home run. Max Meyer is really keying in. Seems like Atlanta's only doing their work in the first inning, and that's all they've needed to do with how our offense is done, as we currently have 1 hit. Going into the 7th inning, I decided to hop in here. I figured the team needed a spark, and that'll start with the top of the 7th. Will Smith strikes out. Meyer with his 5th of the day as he continues his fantastic postseason. 2 away for Yoan Moncada. In the left, caught by Louis St. John, and that'll likely end Max Meyer's day. A great performance for variety. 7 innings, 2 earned runs. But the problem is the offense has been just such a train wreck that it might not matter, and the Orioles might have wasted a pitching gem. Bottom 7, here's Louis St. John with a liner into left, and it is going to be a double. As St. John will slide into second. Looked like that one had a chance to go over the fence, but not quite. But nonetheless, the Orioles have a runner in scoring position with nobody out. Homer can tie the game up, technically. But at this point, the Orioles just need to get base runners, because that's been their problem today. Louis St. John singles it into center, nearly ripping Max Fried's head off. St. John will score. So there you go. The Orioles have more base runners here within the past 2 at-bats than the first 6 innings combined. Certainly a nice little spark, and from there, Max Fried's day is done. A gem on the bump for Fried, and replacing him will be the beard, A.J. Minter, who is not allowed a run up to this point. He pitched in Game 1, was able to get Atlanta out of the bases-loaded jam. As here's Xavier Bowman up to bat. Runner now on third. 2 away, full count pitch. Grounded down the line. Freeman bobbles it, flips it over to Minter. And the Braves get out of the inning with the lead, but Baltimore does score, and they do some damage. Max Meyer is still in the game here in the 8th inning. An interesting decision there by manager Carlos Feebles, and it might have backfired, as this one looks like it could be a triple for Jacob Pearson, and indeed, he slides to third safely, and Atlanta now is a runner 90 feet away from home. From there, Feebles will still not take Meyer out, and I guess his decision would pay off as he forces a fly out into center. That one will be caught. 8 innings, 2 earned runs, a great performance from Meyer. I'm sure he won't return in the 9th inning, so I am confident that his day is now done. Luke Jackson is in for Atlanta here in the bottom half of the inning. He has a 7.36 ERA so far in the playoffs. Hopefully the Orioles can rise that up as they start with Carmen Sixto, who takes a big swing and a miss on the sweeping curveball. Nice pitch by Jackson. 2 away now for Ian Happ, hitting leadoff today. 1-2. Gets fooled by the slider. Ian Happ started the playoffs off extremely well, but has definitely cooled off as it has gone along. Amir Garrett is in here in the 9th inning. Garrett pitched a little bit in Game 1 pretty well. We'll see what he can do here in Game 2 as he starts by allowing a walk here to Ronald Acuna. So Atlanta has themselves an early base runner as that will bring up Amir Garrett. Acuna headed to second. The throw from Rutschman is in time. Excuse my hiccup. Normally I would cut that out and redo it, but I feel like it was kind of too funny to take out, so we're going to keep the hiccup in. Two away now for Will Smith. He flies this one into right field. Should be caught pretty easily, and it will be by Elliot Ramos. So now we go to the bottom of the ninth inning. It is a 2-1 game. The Orioles offense has been pretty bad through the first two games of a World Series, but we'll see what they can do here against Sean Newcomb as they try to get some momentum back here and tie it up at 1. That starts with Elliot Ramos. He had a walk-off home run in the ALCS. This one has a chance to reach the seats, but it will not quite, as it is caught down by the warning track by Ronald Acuna. That'll bring up Louis St. John, the lefty killer. He hits lefties better than anybody. This one will stay in the ballpark, but it will go for a base hit. A weakly hit single into center field as St. John continues his stellar postseason, and the reigning World Series MVP is now aboard. That'll bring up Lenny Ling, the 1-1. Pops it high and pretty deep into left. Does it have a chance? That one hit the tip of the track, but was caught. Could have been a walk-off home run for Lenny Ling, but unfortunately, just not quite enough distance. That'll bring up Adley Rutschman now. 2 away. The 2-1. Grounds it into left field. That'll go for a base hit. So now the Orioles have 2-1. A base hit ties it. An extra base hit likely will win it. It's Kjerstad swinging a miss. Newcomb strikes him out, and the Atlanta Braves will take a 2-0 series lead here in the World Series. So far, to put it bluntly, the Orioles offense through the first two games has been pretty pathetic. And we've got major damage control to do on the road if we want to get back in this World Series. 5 hits in this game, only the 1 run. And again, I feel like we wasted another great pitching performance. Max Meyer with 8 phenomenal frames, but obviously not enough to get the job done. So that brings us to a pivotal Game 3. We have to win this game or else we're pretty much screwed. We've got a lot of guys on offense who are really struggling. Their averages starting with either the number 1 or the number 0. So if you're struggling, you're not playing in this Game 3, even if you're a regular starter. So we do have some different players in there just trying to change anything up. Ian Anderson starting for Atlanta. We've got Jacob deGrom on the mound. Seems like our new strategy appears to be working early. Adley Rutschman with a 2-run double. Jacob deGrom even drives in a run off of the sac fly. deGrom's one of the better hitting pitchers in baseball. I honestly think him in the lineup is kind of an asset compared to what we've got on the bench. In the bottom of the third, the Braves would answer. Dansby Swanson and Nick Solak drive in a run, so it is now 3-2. deGrom gets in a jam here in the fourth, but he does kind of get out of it. They do score 1, but nothing more. So we're tied up at 3. deGrom gets through the 5th. Now into the 6th inning. I know it's a little bit early in the game, but I want to hop in. I feel like we've got to get a spark going to get back in this series as St. John singles it up the middle to open things off. The offense has been a lot better today. I will give them their credit, but it's not like we're winning. The game is still tied up, and Baltimore knows they need to play some great baseball here in the final 4 innings of this game to get back in the World Series. Lenny Ling singles it into right field, so already a pretty good start here to the 6th inning with a pair of early base hits, and from there, Ian Anderson's day is done. Trey Riley, who has an ERA of 27, checks into the game. Runners on the corners, 2 away here for Elliot Ramos, swinging a miss. So after starting the inning with 2 runners aboard, the Orioles do not drive in anybody. Wasted opportunity there. We move to the bottom of the 6th. deGrom remains in the game as he faces off against Will Smith, the Fresh Prince of Atlanta, with a high fly ball, and it goes off the wall. St. John also crashes into the wall as it'll be a double with nobody out. A big hit there for Will Smith. He has a lot to prove in this World Series, Smith, because him and Adley Rutschman have pretty much been competing over the past 4 or 5 years to see who the best catcher in baseball is, so both of them have a lot to show. Freddie Freeman hits it down the left field line. That'll drive in a run until the Atlanta Braves are back on top as it's now 4-3. From there, deGrom will be taken out of the game. Not his best performance, I would say. Brusdar Graterol will enter in his place as he starts with Moncada. Fools him on the inside slider. That's a pretty good start. And Graterol would retire the side after that. As we move to the bottom of the 7th, Julian Starnes is now in for Baltimore. He starts off with Dansby Swanson, who hits this one into the gap fair for extra bases. It's really been a down season for Julian Starnes, who was fantastic last year. He was unbelievably good in the playoffs last year. But this regular season, he was disappointing in the playoffs. He has struggled, and allowing an early triple to Dansby Swanson won't make things any better. And then, sure enough, the very next batter, Nick Solak, with a drive into deep left field. And now I think it's fair to say the Orioles are in real trouble. A 2-run homer for Nick Solak, and it is now a 6-3 ball game. Baltimore is now probably hitting the panic button because they're not in a good spot. Down by 3 runs here in a 2-0 series. Luke Jackson enters here in the 8th inning as Lenny Ling, with 2 away, will bounce this one in front of a wall, sliding into second for a double. Baltimore has to score in this inning, to put it lightly. They need to get back in this game. They need to get back in this series. Maybe the most important at-bat of the year. It's for Heston Kjerstad, who drives it into left center field. That one goes into the gap. Run scores, an RBI double for Heston Kjerstad, who continues to dominate in these big-time moments. Baltimore brings it within 2, and we move to the bottom of the 8th. Amir Garrett is in. He's now pitched in all 3 World Series games. He's been very busy here against Atlanta, and he's also been very good here against Atlanta as he gets Moncada on the sinker. Now we move to the 9th inning. It's a 2-run game. Sean Newcomb is in for the save. He's 2 for 2 on save ops this postseason, trying to make it a 3rd. The most important inning of Orioles baseball in this World Series, in this season, and maybe this franchise series as a whole. And we'll start with a single by Elliot Ramos. So now the tying run is at the plate with nobody out. What a great opportunity here for the O's, as it's Nick Castellanos with a drive in a left field, and it's gone! A 2-run homer for Nick Castellanos, and we are tied at 6. Normally when Nick Castellanos homers, something bad happens in the world. Nothing bad has happened today yet, but at this rate, I'm fully expecting some sort of nuke to be dropped here in Atlanta Stadium. I will say that right there was kind of the nuke. So from there, the pitcher spot is up, so we have to put in a backup. This is what I'm talking about. Look at the averages of our bench players. Yeah, it's bad. And we've got guys like Mountcastle and Hura and Bowman, who were regular starters throughout the majority of the season, who have just been afterthoughts. Carmen Sixto is the one who gets the at-bat. He hits a rocket into center, but it is caught by Ronald Acuna. That was a close call. Sixto maybe almost bite my words there. So that'll be out number 1 as this brings up Xavier Edwards, who's been good in the playoffs, but he's 0 for 4 today. Make it 1 for 5. A single into center field, so Edwards is now aboard. And now the Orioles have a nice opportunity here. A.J. Minter checks in for Atlanta. He has also been very busy and very good so far in the World Series as he faces off against Ian Happ. Happ with a drive in a left field. This ball is awfully high, it's awfully deep, and it's gone! 2-run homer for Ian Happ, and the Orioles will take the lead. Baltimore was down by 2 going into the inning. Now they are up by 2. Great at bat there by Ian Happ. 2 away now for Big Ding Lenny Ling, who's going to look to keep the fun going. Ling with a solo home run into right. A little lefty-on-lefty crime. And now the score is 6-9. Nice. The Orioles have put up 6 runs in the past 2 innings. 5 runs here in the 9th inning alone. And the Braves will use their 3rd pitcher of the inning. Emmanuel Clase is in for Atlanta as he faces off against Heston Kjerstad, trying to keep it going as it is caught up a warning track by Ronald Acuna. Wow, what an inning! The Orioles scored 5, and they are now comfortably ahead 6-9 as Edwin Diaz is in for the save. Diaz has been a little bit shaky here in the postseason, 3 for 4 on save opportunities as he faces off against Jacob Pearson to lead off the inning, who hits that one over the glove of the 3rd baseman for what looks like a double. The Orioles cannot get overly confident. They cannot let the pedal off the metal yet because the Braves are not out of it. And if the Orioles lose this game, if Atlanta somehow pulls off a comeback, they're going to have all the momentum going into Game 4, and the Orioles are going to be pretty much screwed. Dansby Swanson singles it into right, so now there's 2 aboard with nobody out, and the tying run is up at the plate. It's Solak with the home run earlier. He's going to keep this one in the ballpark, but it will be a single. So now a run scores, and it's 9-7. Still nobody out, and the winning run is up at the plate. It's Ronald Acuna. He draws a walk, and the bases are now loaded. Still nobody out. Edwin Diaz has pitched terribly today. Franmil Reyes with a big swing and a miss. The Orioles needed that one badly for out number 1. So Reyes is retired. That brings up Will Smith, who flies this one into right. It's caught by Kjerstad. Run scores. The throw from Ling is not in time. So the sacrifice fly is successful. Now it's 9-8. Winning run on first here for Freddie Freeman, the 2-1. They're going to say he went around. I don't think he did. Big call for Baltimore. Very next pitch. It's going to be a grounder over to Lane, who tags the bag, and the Orioles win a thriller. 9-8 is your final. Wow, what a game. Baltimore knew their backs were against the wall there in that 9th inning, but thankfully, the offense came alive at the most important time, and we are back in this World Series. We still have some more work to do. We're still down 2-1, but the offense with a much-needed big-time performance, and after really not having much confidence going into Game 3, I don't want to say we're fully back yet, but it does seem like momentum is starting to get towards our side as we go to Game 4. Still a must-win game. We can't go down 3-1. We have to keep the momentum train rolling. Bryce Wilson and Shane Bieber is the pitching matchup as Kjerstad drives in a run off of the double. Lane will tag home 2 more, then Keston Hiura drives in another. So it's 4-0. Great top half of the inning there for the offense, and our momentum continues. Good start here for Shane Bieber, who, of course, has notoriously struggled in the playoffs. Adley Rutschman drives in another run, but back to Bieber. If you remember, last year he was horrible in the postseason, particularly in the World Series, and he was starting today off well until that home run by Ronald Acuna makes it 5-2. Still a good start for our offense, and we still lead pretty comfortably as we get another home run to put ourselves up by 4. Bieber still in the game, still going strong now through 6. In the 7th, Louis St. John adds a home run. He has 3 hits today. Lenny Ling also with 3 hits. Bieber retires the side. So it's still 7-2 here in the 8th inning. I have decided to hop in. I know we're up by 5, but I want to make sure we can win this game and tie the series up at 2. Because seeing the comeback that we made in Game 3, there's no reason why Atlanta can't do that today. Emmanuel Clase rolls through the 8th inning pretty easily, finished off by a Nick Castellanos grounder, and we move to the bottom of the 8th. Amir Garrett checks in for the Orioles. He has been fantastic in the World Series, now pitching in all 4 games, and I still believe he's not allowed to run up to this point. With 2 away, runner on first, Swanson pops it up, and it is caught for the 3rd and final out of the inning. So Baltimore remains up by 5 here with 1 inning to go. Luke Jackson is now in for Atlanta. Has had a pretty rough postseason with the Braves. Hasn't done all that well in the World Series. Ryan Mountcastle leads things off. He crushes it into right field, and that'll add some nice insurance. Mountcastle with just his 2nd base hit of the postseason, but it does go over the fence for a home run, and so the Orioles now lead this by 6. Will Brooks is in the bottom of the 9th looking to finish it off. Brooks has had a productive postseason, only allowing 1 run so far, but his day is not starting off overly great. Franmil Reyes draws a walk, so now there's 2 runners aboard. 1 away here for Will Smith, who hits this one nicely into right field for a single. Looks like a run will score, and it is now 8-3. Still a comfortable lead here for Baltimore, but Atlanta doesn't look like they're going to quite roll over. Atlanta scored another run, but the clip didn't save. I apologize, as that's a grounder to 3rd from Moncada, flipped over to 2nd. And the Orioles win it by the final score of 8-4, and Baltimore is now tied the World Series up at 2. We looked like a dead man walking late in Game 3. We were down by 2 runs, headed to the 9th inning, down in the series 2-0. And that 9th inning changed everything. The offense played great in that inning. The offense came out the gates firing today. Our most complete game of the World Series by far. The pitching was quite good. Shane Bieber was fantastic, trying to throw away the narrative of his playoff struggles. And our offense really hit the ball well. 8 runs, 11 hits. So 2 monumental road victories as we head to Game 5, still in Atlanta, the final road game of the series. And if we can win this one too, that'd be pretty big. I know it's not an elimination game, but it's such an important matchup, so I've decided to play the whole game along with the whole games of every game the rest of the way here in the World Series. So that starts with a pivotal Game 5, a very important matchup here for both teams, as each of these squads tries to take a 3-2 series lead. Currently, it feels like the Orioles have the momentum. They've won 2 in a row here on the road, looking to make it a 3rd in a row. So far, the road team is 4-0 in the World Series, which is certainly a very odd trend. Chris Bubich is on the mound for Baltimore. He has pitched, I guess, inconsistently in the playoffs. His first game, he got hurt, didn't make it out of the 1st inning. His 2nd game, he was pretty good. And then his last game, Game 1 of a World Series, he allowed 6 runs in 1/3 of an inning. He strikes out Nick Solak there. Hey, he's already at 2 outs. Make it 3. Good inning for Kris Bubic, so by default, his performance today is better than his Game 1 performance. Now into the second inning, Cristian Pache up, 1 away, 3-1 count. Draws a walk. The Braves are getting some early base runners, I will say. They just haven't really done anything with them yet. That will send up Freddie Freeman. Count is also 3-1. Freeman with a hanging pitch up and away in the zone. It gets past the glove of Heston Kjerstad, likely for extra bases. Pache on his horse, rounding third, headed to home. It's an RBI double for Freddie Freeman, and the Atlanta Braves are ahead 1-0. That will bring up the following batter up to the plate. It's Will Smith, the catcher. 1-2 pitch. Smith singles it into right field. Freeman heads home. The throw from Kjerstad to the cutoff man to the plate is not in time. RBI single for Will Smith, and the Braves now lead 2-0. A strong start here for Game 5. We haven't even talked about Max Fried yet, who is starting for Atlanta. He pitched in Game 2, and he pitched very, very well, leading Atlanta to a win as he faces off against Xavier Edwards here in the third. Edwards lines this one down the left field line and fair. Baltimore's first base runner of the day. It'll be a double. So far, the Orioles offense has got nothing going against the lefty Max Fried, and they're in a tough spot here now with 2 away. Edwards on third. Ian Happ with a weak grounder over to third base. Moncada fields it cleanly to get the out. So far, it's been a pretty rough start here for the Baltimore lineup. They've really not gotten anything going up to this point as we now move into the fourth. Still a 2-0 ball game. Elliot Ramos leads the inning off, and he's going to go down looking. Inside fastball got him. It looked like at first glance it was a ball, but the umpire says otherwise. Louis St. John is now up. 3-2 pitch goes down on the low changeup. Max Fried is wheeling and dealing right now. The Orioles have pretty much no answer for him. Cristian Pache is now up at the plate. He goes down on the high changeup. Kris Bubic, other than that second inning, has pitched actually pretty well today. He's looked a lot better than he did in Game 1, which again doesn't really say anything. Freddie Freeman goes down on the curveball. Great pitch there by Bubic. With Bubic being a free agent in the offseason, this could be his last game as an Oriole because he is demanding top dollar. I don't know if the Orioles want to give it to him. Here in the top of the fifth inning, Adley Rutschman with a high fly ball in the left field. It's gone. Solo home run for Adley Rutschman, his 5th of the playoffs. And the Orioles are finally on the board as it's now 2-1. Adley Rutschman tipped for good power in the playoffs. I believe that 5 home runs actually leads the team in that department, but he just hasn't really hit consistently. Currently hitting a little bit below 250. Bottom of the 5th inning would be a smooth one there for Bubic, so it remains 2-1. Both offenses, for the most part, are continuing to struggle as we now move into the 6th. Max Fried still in. He strikes out Ramos again on a filthy curveball in the dirt. Elliot Ramos has to have a better eye there. Another very good inning for Max Fried. I'm not sure how much longer the Braves are going to stick with him. The Orioles do make a pitching change as it's Alec Bettinger checking into the game, his 3rd postseason appearance of the season. He pitched that game where Bubic got hurt back in the ALDS against Toronto, pitched very well. Hasn't allowed a run yet in the entire playoffs as he walks Franmil Reyes, who's been probably the Braves' MVP throughout this World Series so far. Following batter hits that one high and deep into center. Nice catch. Elliot Ramos had to go up there to grab it. That wasn't necessarily a home run robbery, but it looked like it was going to go off the wall for extras had Ramos not made the play. It remains 2-1. Max Fried remains in the game as he gets St. John to go down on the curveball. That pitch looked like a good one, but Max Fried's curveball is pretty nasty. That'll bring up Lenny Ling. Hasn't done a whole lot today. 0 for 2. He hits this ball high and deep into straightaway center. Go, ball, go. It's gone. We are tied at 2. Big ding. Lenny Ling with his 4th home run of the playoffs. And the Orioles have knotted this one up. That'll bring up Adley Rutschman, the following batter. He hit the home run earlier. This one stays in the ballpark, but it'll go fair for a single into center. So Rutschman gets his 2nd base hit, and now the Orioles' offense is really doing some damage. Fried remains in the game as he walks Heston Kjerstad, so now there's 2 aboard. That's 3 consecutive batters who have reached base for Baltimore. Before that, I don't even know if they had 3 all game. From there, Dave Roberts. Yes, their manager is Dave Roberts. will take Fried out of the game. Trey Riley will enter in his place. A great performance, though, by Fried. He pitched very well in both starts he made here in the World Series. But look at this. The Orioles have a big opportunity. They send in the pinch hitter, Marco Luciano, who lines it into center, but it is caught by Acuna. There was 2 on there with 2 outs. Baltimore had a great opportunity to take the lead. They couldn't, but not a total waste of an inning as they do tie it. Bottom 7, Bettinger strikes out Freddie Freeman on the changeup. Bettinger has a lot of stamina, so the Orioles are hoping that he can get through another inning successfully, and it looks like he's on pace to do that. He does walk Yohan Moncada, however, with 2 away, so Moncada is now aboard, and that will bring up the leadoff batter, Dansby Swanson. 1-2. Grounder to second, fielded cleanly. So 2 good innings there by Alec Bettinger, and with 2 innings to go, this game is tied up at 2. A lot of 2s. This series is tied up at 2 as Emmanuel Clase is in here in the 8th inning. Ryan Mountcastle up as a pinch hitter. He had a pinch hit home run back in Game 4. Another one of those would be pretty useful right about now, as he doesn't swing, will instead take the walk. So the potential go-ahead run is on base with nobody out for Ian Happ, who's had a quiet day. 0 for 3, goes down looking on the outside cutter, and he is not happy with the call, and rightfully so. The count was full, so he thought that should have been a ball. Following batter, Elliot Ramos will single it into center. Mountcastle advances to third. So a big hit there by Ramos. Now the Orioles have runners on the corners and 1 away for their best hitter, Louis St. John. He's had a rough day today, 0 for 3. The 1-2. This one is hit nicely into right. It is caught by Reyes. Mountcastle heads home on the sacrifice fly. The throw is off the line from Solak. And there you go. The sacrifice fly from Louis St. John is successful as Mountcastle scores. And Baltimore takes their first lead of the day as it's 3-2. Julian Starnes is in here in the bottom of the 8th. Currently with a 5.63 ERA and 8 postseason outings as he strikes out Nick Solak on the curveball. Good pitch there by Starnes. He would knock through the 8th inning pretty easily, and we move to the 9th. 3-2 score. Sean Newcomb in for the Braves is attested Kjerstad with a homer. Kjerstad goes deep, and so it's a 2-run game. His 6th home run of the postseason as he continues to play at a very high level here in the World Series. And now the Orioles comfortably lead by a couple of runs. Edwin Diaz is in for the save. Diaz had a very shaky performance back in Game 3. We'll see what he does here in Game 5 as he gets Pache to go down on the slider. 2 away now for Will Smith. The Braves down to their final strike as this one is hit into left. Caught by Louis St. John, and there you go. After being down in the series 2-0, the Orioles in Atlanta win all 3 road games. How about that? And now Baltimore returns home with all the momentum and are just 1 win away from clinching their 2nd straight World Series title. This game was won by the pitching. Bubic played well, but bullpen was phenomenal. Our offense wasn't great, but we did play well down the stretch, scoring in 4 of the final 5 innings. But still 4 runs, 6 hits, nothing spectacular. So that brings us to Game 6. If we win this game, we win the World Series. If we lose this game, we'll go to a Game 7. If we do have a Game 7, it will not be in today's episode. We would save that for the next one, but we will cross that bridge when we get to it. I just figured I would point that out if that is the situation we get to. Again, if the Orioles win today, we don't have to worry about that. So tonight could be the night that Baltimore wins their 2nd straight World Series. Last year against Atlanta, it took Baltimore 6 games. So it would be fitting for the Orioles to win in 6 once again. Just like last year, the final World Series game, no matter what, will be in Baltimore as the Orioles host this game. And if we go to a Game 7, it would be hosted here at Camden Yards as well. Here's a look at both lineups. Regular crew for the Orioles. They do have Ryan Mountcastle starting and are actually hitting him leadoff. Very interesting strategy. Max Meyer is on the bump. Meyer was the one who pitched in Game 6 last year. He pitched very well in that game. And obviously the Orioles won the World Series. So again, it's fitting that he's the man on the mound as he strikes out Ronald Acuna. Acuna chasing after that slider, swinging a little bit too early. Good work there by Meyer. However, Franmil Reyes singles it into right. A couple batters earlier was able to reach base. So now there's 2 away here and 2 on. A big opportunity for the 5-hole hitter, Will Smith, who strikes out on the changeup. Good work there by Meyer. He got into a little bit of the jam, but was able to get out of the top of the first pretty easily. We move to the bottom half of the inning. The Braves are putting their season into the arm of their ace, Mike Soroka, who pitched fantastically in Game 1. He faces off against Louis St. John, who draws a walk, so St. John is aboard with 2 away. That will bring up Lenny Lane, who's been one of Baltimore's better hitters in the World Series, but he strikes out on the inside slider. Got fooled there by Soroka. Tied at 0 now in the bottom of the 2nd inning. Heston Kjerstad is up at the plate. Lines that one over the glove of Swanson for a single. So with nobody out, Kjerstad is aboard. And if the Orioles win this game, I think you can make the argument Kjerstad is the favorite for World Series MVP at this moment. Ian Happ gets that one into the gap for a double. Kjerstad is forced to hold up at 3rd. But look at this. The Orioles have runners on scoring position with nobody out. They should absolutely score at least 2 runs in this inning as Elliot Ramos goes down on the changeup. Big strikeout for Soroka. Now 1 away here for Nick Castellanos, hitting 170 in the postseason. He nearly got plunked. Soroka left some chin music there as Castellanos will take his base, and now the bags are juiced for Mountcastle. Swinging a miss. And the Atlanta Braves, after allowing the first 2 runners to reach scoring position, do not allow any runs. Soroka fired up, going back to the dugout. A wasted opportunity there by the Baltimore Orioles. And we go to the 3rd. Jacob Pearson tries to lay down the drag bunt, and it works. The 3rd baseman, I believe that's Ian Happ, is unable to make the play. So Pearson is aboard with a bunt single. Trying to steal 2nd. Not so fast, partner. Part-time ball player, full-time sniper. Adley Rutschman has thrown down at least like 3 or 4 runners here in the World Series. His arm has been busy. Dansby Swanson with a base hit. It looks like he's going to try to turn this into a double. Had Pearson not tried to steal 2nd base, he maybe could have scored on that play. So a bad mistake there by Atlanta. They do have an opportunity, though, with a runner in scoring position to do something as Solak strikes out. Meyer with 4 on the day. Acuna would follow suit. So both teams have had opportunities to score. They just have not capitalized, and we remain tied at 0. Bottom 3, Louis St. John is up. Lines it to first. Good play by Freddie Freeman to quickly pick it up. He was able to get it before the ball hit the ground. Lenny Ling now 1-2. Swinging this on the changeup. 3 innings, no runs for either side. We've got ourselves an old-fashioned pitcher's duel as Max Meyer and Mike Soroka are balling. Good defensive play there by Ryan Mountcastle. However, it looks like the umpire is going to call the runner safe. Manager Carlos Feebles definitely disagrees, as it looks like we could have ourselves a review here up in the booth. And we're going to have to take another look at this play. The Orioles think he was out. At first glance, it really did look like he was out. And right there, ball's in Castellanos' glove. Foot is in on the bag. So a good challenge there by Carlos Feebles as the umpires talk about it. And it looks like they will rule the runner out. Good decision there by the umpires. He definitely was out. I think that's the right call. So now 2 away for Freddie Freeman. He draws a walk. The Braves are continuing to get base runners. They have not struggled to get guys on base. They're just struggling to do anything with the guys on base. Good play there by Mountcastle to throw it to first. And there you go. 4 scoreless for Meyer. Game remains tied at 0. Now into the top of the 5th. Pache swinging and misses on the fastball. Good work there by Meyer for another strikeout. Jacob Pearson now had the bunt single earlier. Singles this one into left. St. John with a diving attempt. Although he's unsuccessful catching it, he still blocks the ball from being an extra base hit. So not a totally bad play by St. John. Pearson did not learn his lesson. He tries to steal second again and is caught again. Second time he's been caught stealing today by Adley Rutschman. Bottom 5, Keston Hiura swinging a miss. This game is still tied at 0, by the way. That just blows my mind. Both of these offenses have had chances, particularly Atlanta. They haven't done anything. The Orioles offense was getting base runners early, but the past couple of innings it's been tough sledding. Mountcastle grounds out to second. Still scoreless as we move to the 6th. Reyes grounds it to first. Great play by Castellanos. Flips it to Meyer. A shutout 6th inning. Still tied at 0. Is anybody going to score, or is this game just going to go 100 innings and remain tied at 0? Louis St. John up with 1 away here in the bottom of the 6th. Broken bat. This could actually turn into an infield single. They call him out at first, but again, that was awfully close, and manager Carlos Feebles still has another challenge at his disposal and he is elected to use it. He believes Louis St. John was safe. The Orioles need all the base runners they can get at this point. They've really not gotten anybody since like the second or third inning, and although that was a very weak hit, it looked like he might have been safe. That's so close. It might be too close to overturn, but I think his foot might have been a split second earlier. It looks like the officials agree. They're going to rule it a base hit. So Carlos Feebles goes 2 for 2 on challenges today. Louis St. John is safe at first. And now with a wild pitch, he's going to tag up to second. Soroka actually had a wild pitch earlier in the game. It just didn't get shown because nothing happened afterwards. It wasn't really a relevant play. And I don't think the wild pitch is really going to matter all that much. Lenny Lane gets that one to go over the fence. A 2-run homer for Big Ding Lenny Lane, his 5th of the playoffs. We finally have runs. It took nearly 6 innings for somebody to get on the board, but it's Lenny Lane with a 2-run homer, and it's the Orioles who draw blood first. Great swing there by Lane, the 40-year-old ageless wonder celebrating with his far younger teammates. The old man still has something left in the tank, and Baltimore is now up. Soroka will be immediately taken out of the game. Trey Riley will enter in his place. Riley's ERA continuing to go down throughout the episode, but still at 13. With one away, Heston Kjerstad hits this one high and deep in the left. It is caught at the warning track. If Kjerstad had gotten that over the fence, I think this stadium would have just erupted. Nonetheless, the Orioles still have all the momentum, trying to keep the train rolling. Happ, however, grounds it to short. Good play by Swanson. But a good inning. The Orioles finally have runs. 2-run homer by Lenny Lane, and now the Baltimore Orioles are 3 innings away from winning their 2nd straight World Series. But again, they cannot let go of the pedal to the metal. This game is still far from over. Will Smith leads off the 7th in a big way as that one goes into the gap, likely for extra bases. Look out for the pitch count. Meyer now sits at 87. He's starting to get a little bit tired. The Orioles want to keep him in as long as possible because he's pitched so well today. But sooner rather than later, they may need to make a move. Moncada dribbles this one out the middle for a single. Smith headed home. The throw from Ramos is in time! They got him! Elliot Ramos with a dime from center field to the plate. What a throw to get the out. An unbelievable defensive play there by Elliot Ramos, and the Braves cannot get anything to go their way offensively. With 2 away, Pache pops this one up into the shallow infield. It's caught by Ian Happ. Wow. The Braves are unable to still score. They had a shot, but Elliot Ramos with the throw of his career to tag out Will Smith, and we move to the bottom of the 7th. Here's Nick Castellanos with a drive deep in a right center, and it goes off the wall. Likely for extra bases, a 2-out double for Castellanos. If the Orioles can score another run, maybe they can try and ice this game. That'll bring up Xavier Edwards, swinging this on the changeup. So the Braves are able to get out of it. It remains 2-0. If Atlanta wants to make a comeback, now is the time. They're down by 2 with 2 innings to go. They've got to get it together here, and that starts with Jacob Pearson, who has 2 base hits today. Got to make it a 3rd. This one goes in the left field for extra bases. Meyer is now at 101 pitches. He looks gassed out there. The Orioles wanted to have him in as long as possible, but I think manager Carlos Feebles realized you got to take him out here. So Max Meyer's day is done. 7 unbelievable innings, no earned runs so far. We'll see if Pearson scores as Meyer gets a well-deserved ovation from the Orioles crowd. I think Max Meyer tonight has cemented himself as a Baltimore Orioles legend. Win or lose, I think tonight has cemented that. Amir Garrett checks into the game here for Baltimore. He has been fantastic in the World Series. His 5th appearance against the Braves has not allowed a run yet. Dansby Swanson grounds it to short. Good play by Edwards, but he's unable to get the out in time. So now the Braves have 2 aboard, nobody out. A great opportunity for Nick Solak, who hits this one high, deep in the left field. St. John at the track of the wall. It's gone! A 3-run homer for Nick Solak, and the Atlanta Braves are now winning. 3-2 is your lead. A huge home run for Solak, the biggest of the World Series thus far. And just like us in Game 3, the Braves looked like they were out of it. And then that happens. A huge hit for Nick Solak and Atlanta. Beautiful swing there, and St. John had a chance to possibly rob it. As we take a look at the replay, I think St. John positioned himself perfectly. He just jumped a little bit too early there. Maybe had he timed his jump better, he would have been able to catch it. So now Franmil Reyes is up. He strikes out. Thought that was a walk, but doesn't get his call. Will Smith now 2-2. Gets this one into the gap. Amir Garrett really struggling right now. Before this game, I thought Amir Garrett was like a sleeper World Series MVP candidate because we haven't really had any hitter dominate in the World Series, and Garrett has been so good out of the bullpen, but today's game is certainly taking Garrett out of the running for any World Series MVP type of discussion. He does strike out Freddie Freeman to get out of it. Still not a good inning there for Baltimore. The 3-run homer by Solak puts Atlanta ahead, and we move to the bottom of the 8th. Sean Newcomb is in for Atlanta. He faces off against Lenny Lane here with 2 away. Lane with a drive into right center. I think we've got a no-doubter. Big ding. Lenny Lane has single-handedly kept the Orioles in the ball game. Lane with his 2nd home run of the game. Unlike his first one, we all knew that was gone once it hit the tip of his bat. A great swing there by Lenny Lane, his 6th home run of the playoffs, I believe his 3rd of the World Series, and his 2nd of the ball game. Wow. The Orioles are going to try to keep it going. Heston Kjerstad will single it into center field. So with 2 away, the Orioles have a runner on. An extra base hit here can probably give them the lead. It'll be Ian Happ up to the plate. 2-2 pitch. Happ hits it pretty nicely into center. Should be caught by Acuna, and it will. So both teams score in the 8th. 3-run homer for Solak for Atlanta. Lenny Lane answers with a solo homer, and we are tied at 3 going into the 9th inning. This is what World Series baseball is all about right here, where memories are made, where legends are enshrined. Brusdar Graterol in for the Orioles. His day does not start off well. Yohan Moncada shoots it down the line and fair for extra bases. It's a double. And now the Braves have a runner in scoring position with nobody out, and a great opportunity here to take the lead. That'll bring up Christian Pache. This one is flown into right field. Should be caught by Kjerstad, and it will. Moncada attempts to tag up to 3rd. The throw from 2nd is nearly in time. That's Xavier Bowman at 2nd. I know he's an outfielder, but the Orioles don't have a lot of infielders on their bench, and they used him in a pinch hitting opportunity. There's Jacob Pearson. Singles it into left. Run scores, and it's now 4-3. Shout out to Jacob Pearson. He is 4 for 4 today. Balling out with a big RBI for the most important time. 2 away now for Solak. He floats it ahead of Xavier Bowman for a single. And now Atlanta has 2 on and 2 out. They're up by 1, but I think they would love to be up by a more comfortable lead, as it's Acuna who's going to fly this one into deep left. St. John backing up. Makes the catch. So Atlanta scores another run there in the 9th inning, and they have an opportunity to close this game out here in the bottom half of the 9th. John Gant is in for the save, his first save opportunity of the postseason, as he starts with Elliot Ramos. Ramos weakly pops it up to first base, and it will be caught by Freddie Freeman. And now the Braves are 2 outs away from sending this into a Game 7. That'll bring up Xavier Bowman up to the plate. Bowman with a rocket into left field. This one has a chance. Back at the track at the wall. It's gone. Tie game. Xavier Bowman with his first playoff home run of the year. And we are knotted up at 4. The 21-year-old outfielder who has been, to put it nicely, terrible in the postseason. He had 1 hit in the entire postseason before that. But none of that matters right now, because Xavier Bowman has just hit the biggest home run of his life, being greeted by his teammates in the dugout. I thought about replacing Bowman there with a different hitter, but we decided to keep him in. And boy, did that prove to be a good decision. Beautiful swing there by Bowman as it gets over the fence. And now Baltimore has a chance to walk it off, to try to win the World Series in walk-off fashion. It's Nick Castellanos up to the plate, swinging a miss on the curveball. So Castellanos won't be the one to do it. How about the young shortstop, Xavier Edwards? 1-2. 2 away. Pitch from Gant. This one is weakly grounded to first. Freeman tags the bag. So there you go. 9 innings is not enough. We are headed to a 10th. Both teams score in the 9th inning. An RBI single by Jacob Pearson, followed by a solo home run by the former number 1 overall draft pick, Xavier Bowman. Julian Starnes is back in for Baltimore, his 10th postseason appearance of the season. currently with an ERA of 5 as he faces off against Will Smith with one away. Hits this one nicely into left field, likely for a double. Off-balance throw by St. John. Bowman as well bobbles it. Xavier Bowman's definitely not a natural second baseman, although him bobbling it didn't really matter. Freddie Freeman now lines it into right for a single. Kjerstad with the throw to the plate. It's going to be close, and the runner is safe. It's an RBI single for Will Smith, and the Braves are now back up 5-4 as both teams are trading the lead here like it's a hot potato. Two-way for Pache. Lines this one high in the sky, caught by Ian Happ. So another good inning there by the Braves. They score another run. They're back up by 1. And now we go to the bottom of the 10th. John Gant still in. One away. He faces off against Louis St. John, who nearly rips his head off. That'll be a single for Louis St. John. The tying run is on base. The potential winning run is up at the plate. And guess who it is? Big Ding Lenny Lane, who has homered in each of his last 2 at-bats. Another one would win the Orioles the World Series. Full count pitch. Lane lines this one nicely into right. It is, however, caught by Franmil Reyes. Now the Orioles are down to their final out here. Can the Braves force this to a Game 7? It comes down to Heston Kjerstad, who's been Baltimore's best hitter in the playoffs. Kjerstad lines this one into center for a single. St. John will hold up at second. So now there's 2-1, 2 outs. An extra base hit probably wins the World Series. A single probably ties it. It's Ian Happ up to bat. 2-1 pitch, grounded to second. Dansby Swanson fields it cleanly, and we are headed to a Game 7. 5-4, your final in 10. The Atlanta Braves have won it. Atlanta looked out of it at one point. They were down 2-0 going into the 8th, but Nick Solak hit the big home run. And then from there, both teams just started trading off runs. Both starting pitchers were fantastic. Mike Soroka and Max Meyer pitched their butts off, but the bullpens blew it for both teams, particularly us. We wasted both of Max Meyer's awesome performances in the World Series. He has pitched 2 dominant games, and we lost both of them, which is very unfortunate. So you know what that means. We're headed to a Game 7. And as I said earlier, we're not doing Game 7 today. I feel like Game 7 needs its own episode because, well, it's Game 7. It's do or die. It's the most important game in this franchise series. Next episode is going to be episode 100, which makes it pretty fitting as well. So, yeah, there you go. That'll end today's episode. I hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know what you thought of the first 6 games of a World Series down below in the comments. And who do you think we should start in Game 7? Shane Bieber, Jacob deGrom, and Tristan McKenzie are all loose. They're all available. We could also go with a full bullpen day, but after their performance in Game 6, I don't think that's going to happen. So let me know who you think we should start on the mound in Game 7. Again, make sure to like the video, make sure to comment, and subscribe if you are new. Peace out.